Zolzaya is going to be presenting to us on Canada's critical minerals and climate innovation ecosystem. And she's about 10 minutes or less to do a presentation. So do whatever you can to give us the course notes, if that's still a thing. Okay.
I'll take this off. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you for having me. So I had 30 slides prepared, but I'll cut it down to 10 minutes, and I'll try to go really fast. I think I'm the last one standing between your meal and flights. So I am here, my name is Zolzaya. I'm here representing the Climate Center at the Business School of University of British Columbia. And why we did this analysis on Canada's critical minerals was we have started this Hard to Abate series looking into hard to abate industries to analyze where are the innovations, where are the gaps in the climate solutions and business solutions, and how we could apply and how can the business school can help these hard to abate industries. So today I'll just quickly go over the project overview. So it seems like over the past 2 days, we have talked over a lot of these problem statements and value propositions presented here. So I quickly go over that methodology and for the innovation ecosystem and funding landscape. So when we looked into this was a 3 months project. So when we looked into all the reports out there related to mining industry and the mining company's website reports, one thing was there for sure. The mining industry and critical minerals industry is contributing to the energy transition, and everyone was mentioning that perspective on their website, in the reports, and in the energy outlooks. And so we want to come from this, we want to switch this almost 80% of fossil fuel to cleaner energy, and for that we need critical minerals. And so with that, the mining industry is trying to rebrand itself and rebrand it to its outdated image of dirty industry, and with that to attract more talent and younger generations workers. So when we looked into the innovation ecosystem, we looked into startups, who are the accelerators, academia, and labs and research centers, and who are specifically the funders, including the venture capitals and corporate venture funds. So there was a clear two distinct problems within the mining, when we talk about mining innovation. So there is innovation, there is a problem with innovation within the industry itself because of different types of problems that I'll present, but also there is a barrier for mining innovation companies that are coming as startups for them to commercialize and to be accelerated. So when it comes to the innovation problem within the mining industry, we know that it's a complex sector. We have many stakeholders, including from governments to local communities, and so it slows the decision-making process. I think everyone in this room knows about this problem, but there is also a complexity of different mining operations side, which hinders the adoption of different technologies at all of the sites. There is also risk-averse public markets, and most of the companies that are to adopt these innovative technologies that are they are publicly traded, and they are serving the shareholders who are looking to make profit. So that's why it's also hindering the innovation ecosystem, and also there is high operational costs related to it, and we don't want to disrupt the day-to-day operations. So this is the innovation problem within the industry itself, but there's also what Micah is also addressing is the commercialization barrier. So within that, there are also two different problems, challenges. So first is innovation gap, innovation funding gap. And what I refer to it is it's a stage where companies that are in TRL 1 to 3 stages, are trying to become investable ventures. They're trying to get commercialized and get their prototypes done. But there's a deep funding gap in doing that, and also finding these opportunities in the innovations. And there's a second problem, which will be the focus of the mapping that I did. So there's a valley of death, which is the commercialization barrier. And it usually occurs between getting the pre-seed, seed funds, and the first Series A funding. And it happens due to various reasons, such as high capital needs, high perceived risk of the venture, because these funds and venture capitalists, they're often looking into investing for 10 years horizon. So but for mining innovation companies, there is a prolonged investment horizon. So that is why, and also there is lack of product market fit that's hindering the innovation commercialization. And we also looked into some business models that could be bringing challenges to the innovation companies. These are namely the prescriptive permitting processes, which we all know, and also things like net 90-day payment terms are with bigger mining companies. This type of issues can be a challenge to commercializing these technologies. And so what is the value proposition of the Canadian mining innovators? So I think throughout these 2 days, we echoed this. We are ESG leader. We have, Canada is recognized globally for its strong ESG leadership. And also from the report, I can see that there is a strong we have strong laboratories, accelerators, and we have NORCAD, the testbed ecosystem. So we have everything in one place compared to other countries. And we have strong government support, such as tax incentives and critical mineral strategies. Usually they're mentioned along with Australian and US government strategies. So, and also Canada has been implementing and partnering with different countries around the world. So we have that value proposition. So with that overall in mind, we digged into the climate innovation ecosystem. So to quickly go over the methodologies, we looked into companies only TRL 5+, so who are about to get commercialized, and who went through some accelerators and who got some grants. And so we divided them into innovation companies and also innovative service providers, and divided them into 5 categories. And this was pan-Canadian scan research. So, and I would also have to mention that this is not an exhaustive list of companies. So the 5 categories, I tagged them was the technology advancement, digital transformation, circular economy, decarbonization, and ESG risk reduction. And this can be found in the report that I'll be sharing it towards the end. Quickly go over the mapping. So when we looked at the innovation companies, from this graph, you can see that 37% of innovation companies are in BC, located in BC, Ontario, 27%, in Quebec, 17%, and 10% in Alberta, and scattered across Canada. The rest are scattered across Canada. And so I also wanted to mention Jetty Resources in Boulder, because it was developed in Canada at UBC, but because of the funding needs, they would have to relocate to Boulder. So this is a case where it's a typical case happening across Canadian startup companies. Also, I tried to look into when the innovations have been happening the most. So in the past 6 years, we have seen spikes, and it could be related to different things such as AI technologies and increased attention to the mining and minerals industry, among other things. And so also, the 5 categories I identified can be seen here, and mostly we can see also in this graph technology advancement and also digital transformation and circular economy companies have been entering this innovation landscape for the past few years. And these are the company names, and most of the companies that talked today and yesterday are on the list, and you can access it on the report. I think this is self-explanatory. We saw that most of the companies that presented for the past 2 days were related to their primary technology specification was based on AI and connectivity and data, and decarbonization and circular economy. I'll leave it there. And another exercise to further analyze these companies was to plot it across the value chain. And we saw that a lot of innovation is largely seen in the development, exploration, extraction, and also reclamation and urban mining stages. So a lot of new entrants coming into this critical minerals supply chain. And there could be potential areas for innovation, which can be further assessed more, which is refining technologies and more of different types of recycling metals and minerals. So I think this would be the most important part of the landscape report is, so we have GRI coming in for the mining sector. So I took out the material topics from the GRI, which is Global Reporting Initiative, and tried to tag all these companies based on their ESG results. So we saw that work environment, improving the work environment, decreasing the GHG emissions, and decreasing the water effluents can be seen across these startups. And based on that, they were getting the funding. So this is data from PitchBook as of August 20th. So we see that accelerators play a huge role. They write checks. They write most of the checks, but the size is limited. When they go to later stages and they go before they go public, they get the most amount of money from PE funds and growth capital funds. But there is, you can see that there is a clear gap at pre-seed, seed, and early stage, getting to early stage. So that's what we call the valley of death here. And we have come up with some recommendations for that. So coming to the accelerators part, so often as the ecosystem players, we refer to accelerators as one type of accelerator. Often we perceive them as one. However, we try to highlight that there are different types of accelerator which play a huge role at each step of the company startup journey. So government-related, such as MICA, SDDC, they play a huge role in getting commercialized. But university-based accelerators, such as UBC and Toronto hubs, they help these companies to turn it into investable ventures. And there are also different startup accelerators, such as Foresight and Santec. They are often playing this solely accelerating startups by providing mentorship and resources. The main two ones that I wanted to highlight was investment accelerators. So investment accelerators and venture studios, they are helping these startup companies to go through, to leapfrog this valley of death. And we can see from here that Creative Destruction Lab, aka CDL, and Foresight, they're helping a lot in this journey for the startups to get commercialized and getting through this valley of death and get funding. And namely, CDL is helping a lot with the funding part because they are not only helping them connect with students and MBAs and the business ecosystem, but also venture capital funds. So And there we have only one testbed center, which is NORCAD. I'll quickly go over this. And we have R&D centers, but most importantly, it's scattered. We have these great R&D centers across Canada, and their focus is ranges from mining industry 4.0 to mining innovation to smart mining to nuclear innovation. So we have this great range of R&D centers and laboratories focusing on different things. And so moving on to the mining minerals investors, we can see that there are angel investors, venture capital funds, and there are only few. So if we look at this, we have corporate venture partnerships who are helping these companies get funded the most and get and they fund these companies because it aligns with their strategy. But these venture capital firms and alternative investment firms now entering the game, the mining innovation, funding the mining innovation companies. And we see that Breakthrough Energy, JP Morgan Asset Management, these companies are now funding the Canadian startup companies, so the successful ones. So from here, what I wanted to point out is there are only, we can say, handful of different, each type of funders that are looking into mining and minerals industry specifically, innovation specifically, but also corporate ventures play a huge role in bringing these technologies to life. So just to show how the journey of a startup goes, ideas generate, and at each stage of this journey, different ecosystem players play a different role. And you can access this in the report. But moving forward, what can we do? I think I don't have any time, but I think this is the most important part. Moving forward, what can we do? R&D centers, we saw that we have a huge amount of R&D centers and laboratories focusing on mining industry, so they can collaborate with all 5 types of accelerators, because oftentimes when accelerators get funding, they usually fight for the same funding. So if we distinguish them into 5 distinct categories and give each of them with the government support that they need, the R&D centers can collaborate with them and then focus more on what innovations need to be accelerated and made into ventures to accelerate the climate innovation ecosystem. So we propose ecosystem approach, everyone coming together, because we see fragmented ecosystems in each of the jurisdictions, as we saw on the graph. But also moving forward, a systems approach, shared R&D, developing public-private partnerships, and also encourage innovation within firms, such as incorporating risk-taking in the KPIs of the bigger mining companies. I think this can all play a role in advancing the innovation ecosystem for mining. And lastly, last but not least, these companies need to tell their story. Because now more than ever, I think younger generation is also paying attention to mining and minerals industry because of this momentum of clean energy transition and how we can't live without the minerals and mining and how we are intertwined with this industry. So with that, I'll leave it here, and then the full report can be found here. You can scan the QR code and you can reach me on LinkedIn. Thank you.